Hello, fellow Token Titans. I'm in my favorite 5-star hotel in Belgrade. Got the G-Shock unlocked, G-Shock gang. And I want to share with you a nihilistic outlook on the future that I call the future shall be gambling. So a lot of people complain that the whole crypto, whole Web3, besides Bitcoin and USDC, is basically just gambling. And I can't blame them. But I think it's interesting to look at what kind of people do use crypto for gambling. So there are maybe a couple like developing world people that like trade Binance and trade 100x futures, but that's not the majority of gamblers. Also note that for a previous startup, I interviewed over 100 crypto users from high net worth, low net worth, and I realized that 80% of the people that gamble meme coins, gamble shit coins, are actually quite well off. They're just bored. So here my future outlook. We talked about this in like previous videos that we made. Is let's say in a very optimistic scenario, AI is going to replace 80% of the workforce. Every taxis are going to be driven by Elon Musk, and all the robots in the factories will not require any human output. Okay, so from a government perspective, what do? You need to pay all those people like 2K a month so they can pay rent and they can supply themselves with enough nutrition so they don't storm the capital, right? Okay, everybody has money. So what do people do if you just say, hey, here's all the money, you don't really have to do anything with your life anymore, you don't need to wake up at 8, you don't really have any productive output or any purpose. You could say, okay, people will just pick up any course on Udemy and become a big data engineer, or they will write novels and poetry and start drawing. But right now, if you look at the world around you, what do people do with their free time? Okay, they're on TikTok, they play Candy Crush, and they look at stories of other people. All of these kind of like mechanisms of like scrolling and like connecting dots and like is basically gambling behavior. It's the same thing. It's the same degenerate thing that people spend their time with. So what I believe is going to happen in the future, people have a basic income. Everybody's sitting at home, everybody's just on social media, but at some point it gets a bit boring because there's no pressure, there's no risk. So people want to introduce risk into their lives. And how do you do it? Okay, you enter the world's largest casino, which is either the New York Stock Exchange or it's the crypto market, because that's open 24/7. So my future outlook, 2020-40, everybody's sitting at home, everybody's a complete degen. Families of 6 are just sitting on their phone, gambling their basic income away. That's how I think the future is going to look like. And I don't even think that is going to change much in terms of like how Web3 and crypto is going to look like. Obviously, there's going to be much more like real life use case or gamings, but at the core, what do people want? They want some dopamine hits, they want some risk, they want some reward, they want to have some fun. And even for people that gamble, they're not gambling really for the 10,000x opportunities, they're just gambling for the loss of it. And if you look at most, let's say, European casinos or European gambling endeavors, most of it is state owned. So the state says, okay, like, here's the sports betting, here's the lotto, here's the, these things where you can like erase, you call it, in Germany, you call it Rubbellose. So people can just erase it, whatever you win. And like people don't really want the money, but you have a boring ass life, you have 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, and you just work that boring ass job, and then in the evening you can go to your local drugstore and buy some lotto tickets, and you're like, sick, I lost my money, but at least there was some fun. And I think in the future, that whole like, if all the purpose that you have from waking up in the morning and going after your job and adding to society, if all of that is gone, people just are looking for some sort of hit, and they're gonna get it through the thing that is most accessible, and that is probably going to be a huge giant crypto casino. And for the ones that maybe want to like change or increase their odds, it's the stock exchange. But the thing with stock exchange is not really it's not community driven. There's no place to belong. If you're part of a meme coin, it's really funny because you're with all the degens in there. It's like if you've ever seen a Discord chat in the bull market, it's like a cinema. It's dramatic. There are scapegoats and dramas and rugs and all these things. So that's my outlook. The future shall be gambling. Apollo out and LFB.